Jefferson County Court, number 2 is back in session. Court is in session and calls number 325-294. Case of style of state of Texas versus Davion Cataro Mason. Is that your full name? Mr. Mason, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Mason, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Mr. Mason, you may put your hand down. How you doing, Mr. Mason? You doing good? That's good. Now, Mr. Mason, you're here represented by your attorney, Attorney Tom Burbank. Attorney Burbank, how are you doing?
Fine, Judge.
Attorney Burbank, do you waive a record in Mr. Mason's case?
We do.
State is represented in this case by Attorney Colby Hoffpower. Attorney Hoffpower, how are you doing?
Good.
Mr. Mason, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleges that on or about September 9th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of terroristic threat, family violence. Mr. Mason, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Mason, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? No contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Mason, I also have a document before me that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Mason, do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of the same document, there are two sets of signatures, two sets of initials. The first set is your attorney's initials, TB, and the second set next to your attorney's initials, or is that DM?
Yes.
And they're next to a box that's checking over contingent. Did you place your initials next to your attorney's initials?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
On the next document that's titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature above the line that's titled defendant? There are two boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes.
I also have a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Mr. Mason, do you recognize this document?
Yes.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes.
Mr. Mason, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I've just gone over with you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mason, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and I have in the court's file the probable cause affidavit, State's Exhibit number 2. State, you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2 into evidence?
Would do so at this time, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection, states 1 and 3, Judge.
No objection, State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Burbank, you have advised and counseled Mr. Mason. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your
Mr. Mason, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Mason, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent. Well, I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I'll also find that your plea and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, Do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
What is that agreement?
Your Honor, states for plea of no contest, states for plea of no contest, the state agrees to offer 365 days in the Jefferson County Jail, court costs and the credit he's due by law. I believe the defendant in this case has plenty of time, over 365 days, but he will be time served. Yeah.
And tax and retire the court costs?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Mason, the state is offering that you serve 365 days in Jefferson County Jail. You have already served 365 days in Jefferson County Jail on this Class A misdemeanor. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you have already served. The court cost in this case is $402, but you will not have to pay the $402 court cost because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court cost will be taxed and retired. Mr. Mason, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Mason, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Burbank, would you please hand that written admonition to your client? Mr. Mason, your attorney, Mr. Burbank, has just handed you a document that is titled Model Written Admonition on Ineligibility to Possess a Firearm or Ammunition. I will go over this document with you, and it states, in accordance with the Texas Administrative Code, Section 176.1, the court hereby admonishes you or warns you of the following. Number one, you are, by entry of order or judgment, ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Number two, beginning now, if you possess a firearm or ammunition, it could lead to charges against you. If you have questions about how long you will be ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, you should consult an attorney. Number three, under Texas Penal Code Section 46.013, firearms mean any device designed, made, or adapted to expel a projectile through a barrel by using the energy generated by an explosion or burning substance, or any device readily convertible to that use. B, firearms does not include a firearm that may have as an integral part a folding knife blade or other characteristics of weapons made illegal by Penal Code Chapter 46, and that is one, an antique or carry firearm manufactured before 1899, or two, a replica of an antique or carry firearm manufactured before 1899, but only if the replica does not use rimfire or centerfire ammunition. The statutes listed below are a starting point for ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. For more information about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or for more information on how long your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition lasts, the court recommends you contact an attorney. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 17.292, Magistrate's Orders for Emergency Protection. Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 42.0131, Notice for persons convicted of misdemeanors involving family violence. Penal Code Section 46.02, unlawful carrying weapons. Penal Code Section 46.04, unlawful possession of firearm. Penal Code Section 25.07, violation of certain court orders or conditions of bond in a family violence, child abuse or neglect, sexual assault or abuse, indecent assault, stalking, or trafficking case. Family Code 85.026, warning on protective orders. Now, Mr. Mason, this written admonition that you have in your hand is for you to keep for your records. This will conclude your case. You're going to stand on the X next to your attorney, follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Burbank, you'll be free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, I may be excused.
Yes, you may be excused.
Go right there.
If you don't mind, Jen.
Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. Next case on the court's docket is cause number 330286. The case is Style of State of Texas versus Colby C. Mack. Colby Mack was scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. for the court's announcement docket. Scheduled on today of February 15th of 2023. At or about 9 a.m., the court's bailiff called the name of Colby Mack at the courthouse door. Colby Mack did not answer. Colby Mack has not appeared in court since the court has been in session. And for the record, Colby Mack's attorney, Mr. John Macy, did appear via Zoom. The time now is 10:48 a.m. on today's date, February 15th, 2023. Mr. Bailiff, would you please call the name of Colby Mack at the courthouse door? Colby Mack's name was just called to get at the courthouse door by the closing bailiff. Colby Mack did not answer. Reasonable time has passed to give Mr. Mack an opportunity to appear in court. He has not appeared in court. State, do you have a motion?
Same motion, bond forfeiture.
That motion will be granted. Colby Mack's bond will be forfeited, and a warrant shall be issued for his arrest in cause number 330286. This will conclude the calling of the court's announcement docket scheduled at 9 a.m. on today's date of February 15th of 2023 in County Court at Law number 2. Judge Terrence Holmes presiding. Everyone, please have